I went out and I got a new little thingy that plugs into the phone and the microphone. So it should be working a lot better. Let me know in the comments. But what we are making today is I'm kind of finishing up a pretty big order of these. They are just decorative. And what they do is they hook into the back of your hair tie. So you put your hair up and then this just uses a fork tine and it hooks right inside it. So what everyone sees is that instead of your ponytail holder. So we have some tablespoons, soup spoons, and I have some teaspoons here that we're doing too. Can you guys hear me okay? So what I have to do now is I have these guys all hammered out. I use my ball peen hammer. I kind of ground it down to where that's just a smaller point. And that lets me get a little smaller indentation, kind of like a fish scale kind of thing. But it's tedious. And I figured you guys didn't want to listen to me hammer on these for a couple hours. So what I have left to do though is I have to solder on all of these, the fork tines. I've gone ahead and pre-soldered them because it was just easier before, but now I've learned a lot more since I started doing this, that normally now I'll just put them on there, crimp them on, and then sweat solder them. Let's see, is the comments working? Okay. So I have a bunch of, these are soup spoons, tablespoons, and teaspoons. And then I've got a bunch of different forks or fork tines that I've saved. I save everything. And this is just one of the things that it happened for, or I happen to be able to use it for. So the way I made these is, I have a spoon around here somewhere. I just know it. Okay, we're gonna use this old crusty guy. Actually, this is a serving spoon. Could probably use a serving spoon. We'll use this guy. Can you guys hear me okay? So I made this section, or this piece, I took the middle forming block from this. Here. So I used that one. And then this is a coupling that I've used to go over and give me a little bit larger size. But for these, what I do is I try and start at the back. And by back, I mean back here, because I want to get that nice and flat first. And then I'll keep rolling this. Pull that down. So now we're left with this nice little curve here. We can take, I just clip it off right there, file it around, and basically it comes out the same just about every time, same shape. Sometimes you'll end up with a little kink. And what I would do with those is, let's see, I think I got all the kinks worked out. Okay. So you can kind of see here, there's kind of a sharper angle there. What I'll tend to do, if it's hammered like this, I'll use the hammered point. It's hard to see in the lights, but I'll just hit that spot. and that will finish the rounding. So it's nice and clean. So since we've got this part done, I'm going to be soldering these. Let's get you guys set up here. See if I can get it to focus there. I'm going to be using my propane torch that I'm almost out. Rosin core solder. This is 6040. I don't need this anymore, so I'll get rid of that. Get this guy over here. And I've already got some of these made already. The ones that don't have to be hammered literally take almost no time at all. I mean, this is done. 5 minutes and I'd have this ready to have one of these fork tines put on there. But we're basically going to put this in here, clip it in, and then sweat solder it. So let's find a fork. Oh, and I'm using 8-inch forceps. I do have a bucket of water right here underneath the camera. And what I'm looking for here right now is placement. So I'm going to get it placed where I want it, and then I'll show you why I chose that spot. And putting the solder on beforehand also makes this a little bit more difficult. So I wouldn't recommend it. It's not quite where I want it. I want to try and keep it center. And at the same time, I have to assume that it's going to go down, because it will, because it free. Okay. So here's what I'm looking at. I can't see. Everything in my glasses looks fuzzy. So you don't want the hook to be too far up this way, because you don't want it poking out the top. So let me flip that around. And you don't want it to be too low, because then it hangs weird. So once this flattens down, it's going to be up just a little bit taller. Let's grab my block here. See if I can get you in down here. Can everyone hear me okay? So like I said, I'm just going to be sweat soldering this. So once this drops from the heat, if I need more solder, so there, it started moving. Grab that. Okay, cool that off. Cool that off, and we'll do this again. Okay. At least we don't have to worry about that little bulge. Okay. All right, so now another tip for this is you want to try and get your clip to be somewhere up in the middle of this flat spot that we've made. Right along in here. So where your hook is, right about there is where you want it to touch, because that's going to keep the whole back down and not just want to pull up on the bottom. So let's try this again. That's that. It doesn't take a whole lot. So you can kind of see where it's at now. The top is most of the way up. So whenever it's here, it's hanging mostly up. It's not upside down or wanting to flip over. So this one looks straight to me, looks where I want it. Toss it in the tumbler. Get these guys out of the way. And repeat. So we'll find our next one. Some of the fork tines are a lot bigger, so I don't want to use a tiny little guy like this for something that big. You could, but I think proportion makes a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just get this solder to flow first so we don't have it spring out on us again. Get this all squared away again. Try and get in a routine here. It just doesn't look right. If you could just pinch it right at the bottom, that'd be great, but you really need to get that pressure. No, that's not going to do it. Come on, work with me here. Okay, I can live with that one. Pull that through. It's a little crooked. So I'm going to dip it, get it cooled off. Here's what I do for that. So now I'll clip it here at the bottom. And I'll use this one to just kind of pull it over. So I'm just going to try and pull this way. Oh, you guys can't see anything. We just need it to move a little bit. There we go, that's straight. Where? There we go. Going nice down the center, still up high where we want it. Missed. Okay. So how's everybody doing with the weather? It was 88 degrees here today. That's been our hottest day so far this year, I think. Hard part's trying to get center. Because it's all curved, the whole thing. So you're fighting with the curve. And go two directions at once. Nope. So I'm hoping, so we have some more remodeling to do. I'm actually going to go on a live again tonight after I get these finished up. I'll probably just be here for a little bit so I can crank these out real fast, get them in the tumbler, and then I have some more bud vases to make. Okay, I think that'll flatten down right. So we have a lot of stuff going on in the house. I actually get to move my shop. Woohoo! I'm going to a bigger room. I'm excited about that. And it's going to have a door and everything. I am using rosin core solder on this. There we go, there it went. So I'm taking that. While it's hooked up there, I'm gonna see if I can just kind of pull this over a little bit. Yes, you can pull it over a little bit. But I want this, right? And that's something new. We'll have to test this one. Oh. It's on there. So I'm just straightening out the hook part. There we go. Got some solder on the back here. Somehow. So let's heat that up. We'll wipe it off. The way I normally do that is just with the piece of leather. If you get this hot real quick. It doesn't really give it time to loosen up your other solder. All right, nice and clean. Into the bucket. Does anybody have any questions for me? Let's see, I went over the ball peen hammer, making the shape. I leave the handles on, like I said, right until the very end. Like the last thing I do is I chop these off, put them on my belt sander. I sand this edge nice and clean and smooth, and I try and get it as round as I can. Just try and round it off. The soup spoons, a lot of times will get one of those little kinks, and you'll want to tap those out with, if it's smooth like this guy on the outside, you'll want to use probably not this guy. This guy's going to leave marks, but one of your nylon mallets to kind of just hit that line. This goes over there. So I'll have this one as an extra from today. Let's see. All right, so we are at 23 minutes. Let's do one more. We'll do one of the teaspoons. And for these, you definitely want the smaller hooks. Let's see. I'm going to get the solder off this guy. And as soon as I get off the live here with you guys, I'm going to take all of these fork tines and get all the solder off of them. There we go. Oh, you guys can't see anything. Don't you hate it whenever the forceps go all the way up to all the way up past your knuckles? Okay, so we'll get that about center. So that looks good to me. And we'll get this last one, and I will say bye till later. It'll probably be, once I get all these in the tumbler, I'll probably get back on and kind of let you guys know what's going on, why the videos have slowed down, what's going to be happening very soon, and the exciting things that we have coming, or that you guys will have coming, to be putting out on the channel. All right, so there's our last one, this teaspoon, and the other two we did were tablespoons, or not tablespoons, but soup spoons. So, and like I said, this will just clip right into your ponytail. You might have to curl. Which light is that causing the problem? That's funny. So in the new shop, I'll try and get the lighting worked out a lot better. But sometimes this curve right here will need to be tweaked. So you can take your round nose pliers and just kind of get it to where you guys can see it. You'll just take this and give it a little curl. Just a little bit. It needs to be able to go down into the hair and then hook around. Man, I shake a lot. So it's just hooking over the hair tie. It just clips right in. It's a cool thing that I had a customer actually bring me one that she found years and years ago, and I took a quick mental picture and poof. So every once in a while she says, hey, I want one of those. All right, so I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining me. I'll be trying to go live as much as I can. We have quite a bit of stuff going on, so things are coming, but they might be a little slow. Thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't yet and you like my videos, please like them, hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified of whenever I do go live or have these. I upload a bunch of the new videos, and I have a ton of video to go through, and that will be kind of coming up with the next live tonight. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much, and have a great day.